Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Wednesday, March 13th, 2024. It's a beautiful day in my neighborhood. I hope it is for you as well. And that your week is going well at this mid-range mark. Let's see what we got today. Let's cut it a few more times, even though these cards have been shuffled for the gods. Literally. Let's just see. All right. No, are we for real right now? Okay. 8 of Swords. This is, oh, yuck. Which would be a 10 altogether. This is impaired judgment. Mental imprisonment or instability, could be spiritual imprisonment. I don't like these energies at all. 2 of Swords and the 8 of Swords, that's the 10 together, which is extreme sabotage. So it's probably a projection, to be honest. It's probably not the reality as much as it is the fantasy of someone to have an energy in this vibration or in this frequency, to be untrustworthy of their own decision making, uncertain of which way to go, where to go, what to do next, to just be completely immobile and stuck and stagnant. But it's given extreme mental imbalance, though, for sure, because and it's also, it also feels very self-imposed. It would have to be, even if it's a projection, there has to be some agreement with that projection for it to take residence. Or like, I'm feeling something else here, though. You know what? I'm gonna take these 2 out. So I'm feeling something else here where somebody, I'll say what I feel, but we'll see how the energy comes out. It feels like a witch is bound by her own spells. Swords are communication, could be incantation, could be even just thoughts, which we know could also be spell work, impressions, projections. It's like somebody was just dabbling in a whole hell of a lot of work and either has come to a dead end of that energy not manifesting itself or not the way it was intended, or like I said, they're just a prisoner of their own spells. And and it's causing a bit of insanity to some degree, because they're used to being able to do things a certain type of way and get a result, like to say a quick spell or incantation, or to even just tell a lie. Let's say it practically, somebody that can use word magic to their advantage, but either they've become so trustworthy publicly, that it doesn't have the same impact or impression anymore, which also then has the backlash of them not feeling confident in their own capabilities because it's not making the impact that it once did. So it's like being hit from both sides with the Two of Swords. Like, you don't feel confident saying the spell that you or telling the lies or using your words the way that they worked before because they're not working. And now people are looking at you kind of funny, like it's, you know, you're being exposed to some degree for your what's the word that I just heard? Shoot, what was that word? Incompetence. Damn. But yeah, that was it. Incompetence. And it could even be like, oh man, that's funny. Let's get some more energy because I'm getting all types of downloads on this. Oh shoot, yeah, with the Six of Cups. The spelling ain't spelling like it used to. It used to be, you know, second nature, very familiar, you know, say a quick binding spell and alakazam. Or at least that was the perception. Or it may be even the projection itself that someone was able to glamour. Ooh, glamour magic. That could be that too. Not only were they really not all that great at their craft, but what they were good at is making people believe that they were. So somebody that could literally talk a good game in their craftiness, but wasn't really all that capable or effective mystically or magically. And now that's being exposed in some way that they don't really, both of these ladies are blind. Like they don't really have eyes to see. They don't have foresight. They don't have insight, you know, like, yeah. And so, like I said, part of the craft is this projection of confidence in the craft to be able to present self as if you are supreme in whatever your work is. And when other people are like, I don't know about that, like it's questionable. And then then you're not even doing a good job as to glamour those that you used to be able to pull the wool over their eyes, which is spell work in itself, you know. It's like, yeah, that's the double whammy here. So, interesting. Let's see. Because that was kind of a shock to pull that out. Let's see. Oh, shit. Exactly. The whole establishment is going belly up. The cat's out of the bag. It's no longer. And sometimes when this card is even upright, I see it as like this facade of a happy home, happy life, happy wife type of energy. Someone's glamour magic has expired and it's dissipated. And it's like everything that could be going on behind the scenes of this individual and everything that is associated. It's like everybody that is associated and everything that's associated with this energy is being affected. I mean, come on, the Four of Wands in reverse, that's disharmony, lack of peace, unrest, chaos, maybe even abuse. Dissension. It's not good. I actually have never had the Four of Wands in reverse. I don't get a lot of reversals in general. Now I do because of how I shuffle differently. But even when I see it, when I used to see I still do sometimes, but when I didn't get many reversals, but I would have to read the energy appropriately and it may feel like an adverse energy, still have never seen it as it being something like actually abusive or corrupt or destructive going on. I may see it as like, it looks like a happy picture, but it's a distant view. When you get up close, it's like, I don't know, there's some funny business going on. But this is like, even in that regard, it's given that there is no, like I said, for this energy, there is no secret anymore. The house of horror has been unveiled, or somebody could have lost a home. That too, actually, with the Four of Wands in reverse, somebody could have lost a home or lost their livelihood, or is going to, or in jeopardy of it. Lost some type of sanctuary or security, or their place within. Yeah, that's a confirmation here. Their place within sanctuary. Lost a sense of security and stability. And then here's the Queen of Swords. This is the projected image. Someone that's objective, decisive, clear thinking, knows how to communicate her thoughts fairly, openly, honestly, that is honest. How about that in the first place? But let me see what's after that. And it's in reverse. Let's see. Oh man. And the interesting thing about this is that although this is in reverse, oh yeah, and this is about being caught too. Although it's in reverse, it's still looking back at this queen. What the heck is this about? Either this Queen of Swords has been caught, as I said, like been exposed as some type of thief. It's deeper than a theft, though. This is giving somebody caught in the act of some type of assault or oh man, like something, are they caught in the act, or is someone caught in the act? Something is awry here. It's like I'm getting murder vibes with the Seven of Swords in reverse. Something far more sinister than somebody just trying to get over, cheat, steal, lie, destroy, deceive. get away with murder. It's given that somebody is not getting away with it. They've been wow, hold on. Let's get some more on this before I talk too soon. Like a crime of passion, which is funny because the only passionate card on the board is the Four of Pentacles, and it's upside down. And everything else is swords, like very cold, calculated, calloused. Somebody being held hostage in a house. Some girls being held hostage. Oh, holy shit. This is deeper than deep. I'm getting some energy about girls being held in this house of horrors, and that's what's being revealed or uncovered. Like this is some type of madam of sorts with some accomplice, and either one has turned on the other, or it's just been unveiled some type of way. That's why I'm getting the witchy vibes. So somebody was able to keep this under wraps with this facade of being like an upright, honorable lady, and maybe even some type of official of sorts, or someone in a high position of authority, is being connected to something very dark and sinister that's been going on in some type of home or residence, maybe an establishment that infringes upon feminine energy in some way, or is connected to some other place that does, but it's feeling like it's in a home, and either the home's getting raided and they're finding like these concubines and girls and held at their, against their will, or just held in some state of contempt or unfavorable circumstances. Like, like when they find kids, nothing's giving me kid energy per se, but like those stories, like when they find kids that have been malnourished because the parents aren't feeding them, and they've been beating on them, chaining them to stuff, not giving them proper food and water, barely bathing them, keeping them hostage in the house, so nobody ever sees their conditions. But it's like a horror show. If one of the kids gets loose and goes to tell the neighbor, it's like, it's literally a horror. Oh man, hold on, let me see what else. Let's go back to this Four of Wands reverse. Wow. Something's being uncovered. Whatever it is, somebody's gonna have, somebody's gonna have hell to pay for it, that's for sure. That's what I was just about to say before the Justice card came up. And the Two of Wands flipped in. Oh, that's the Three of Wands flipped in and flipped out. So this is like an expectation here. Expectation of what? Either somebody thought they had it all under wraps or under control, or Yeah, that was probably part of it. Or they expect it to be covered by the law. Remember I said this could be some type of official or something. Yeah, so maybe they had an expectation for some level of grace, or even for somebody to look the other way, if you can get into it, like to overlook. But how could you, with such disgrace being exposed? Like, how the hell could you that somebody is delusional? But maybe they felt like they had enough connections or enough reach or pull or whatever they thought that they could avert being held accountable. So therefore it could, because the thing is, the Queen of Swords is upright, but we already started with this energy, which I believe is connected, that she clearly is not. But that makes me feel like there could be something, there could be some cause for, there could be some clause of distance between the actuality of this crime scene of sorts and this person. Like, maybe it's the person that owns the house, but she's not actually in the house when it gets raided, or when, you know, when things, maybe she technically doesn't live there, or allegedly doesn't live there, but it's connected somehow. So maybe there was the thought that if there was enough distance between the truth of that connection, that even in the worst case scenario, it wouldn't, you know, justice wouldn't come down on her, or she could avoid some some prosecution or persecution, hell, at this point, because she wasn't actively caught on the scene or in the scene, or, you know, like, it's connected enough that there's enough energy to determine that there is some point of responsibility or something. I'm just not, let me just get some more, but for whatever reason, it's feeling like somebody just wouldn't have expected, especially with that 3 of Wands, like they didn't have the expectation to be entangled with this. Ooh, it could be somebody that claimed, I just got that. It could be somebody that claimed they were a victim of and there was just some pop outside. A victim of, they were just as much of a victim too, when in actuality they were the mastermind. It could be that. And that's how they tried to elevate themselves. And that damn sure would be, and that would go back to the lies and the craft of word magic, of someone that just really knows how to lie their way out of anything or spin a story 10,000 ways. But like I said, something about that is not, early on I said that that's not working for whomever that energy is anymore. And here is why, because the Wheel of Fortune is here, is closing this karmic cycle for good. And everybody that has any connection to it has to be held accountable for it. Ain't nobody flying under radar, at least not with spirit. With the justice system, it's questionable, but certainly not in terms of what is actually due to someone. And maybe that's the heightened severity of this case, is that maybe somebody actually got hurt or eliminated on account of these conditions somehow, some way. Because the 10, I said the 8 and the 2 is the 10. That's a very aggressive assault, a very like a traumatic demise of someone. And it's over with the 10, but not without great consequence. So maybe it was just circumstances that couldn't be overlooked. Like it's too severe at this point to just be like, oh, well, that's just one of my properties. Like, I don't live there, or, you know, I didn't know that was going on. Or like I said, worse, I was a victim too. I was only set free to go work, and I had to come back home, and, you know, like, Yeah, putting all the energy on one person like that. And we know good and damn well that the Knight of Wands is no match for the Queen of Wands. Who has the upper hand in that power dynamic? It's not believable. So maybe this reverse Seven of Swords, this is the energy that she's trying to put off on someone else as the culprit, but it's not really sticking the way, it's not really sticking the way that it's needed to absolve her, because something just doesn't add up. Now, there might be just as much guilt here and collusion with whatever this is, but to blame shift everything onto someone else, that ain't gonna fly. It was all his idea. It's like, who, me? And the officials are like, him? Nah. Like, he ain't even capable of this level of mischief and mastery. And he very well may be. But karmically, this will is not going to let someone escape and deflect their guilt. And it seems like that she may be a master at that in some way as the Queen of Swords. That's why it's coming up the Queen of Swords, because she's innately a master at what she does with word magic, but it's just not flying this time. Yeah. Shoot. It might have been all her damn idea. And these could also be the victims or intended targets, like these single ladies vulnerable to attack. I don't know what this is. It's weird though. Let me get another one next to her. Trying to straighten him out a little bit. Yeah, like some, I mean, I know again these were children, so I hope that I'm not talking about children, but it's given like, what was her name? Ghislaine Maxwell? Ghislaine? Jeffrey Epstein's accomplice. And funny how she got left to hold the bag for him while he took the easy way out, allegedly, because we don't know if he actually somewhere on the island sipping pina colada somewhere on one of his secret islands. Who knows, really? But that was the intention here, for her to blame shift, like, you know, throw it all on him and get away scot-free. And also, I'm getting that this was some level of abuse that's being answered for. With the Knight of Wands, it's very lusty, musty. Something's going on here. This feels like the women before they were encountered, and this was the outcome. Let me see though. Here's this again. Yep. Getting real cozy and familiar. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, so he was like, okay. So he was like the Casanova to some degree to kind of like lure them in. Or as a couple, that was what they did. Like they kind of finessed women, coerced them, seduced them, perhaps, to gain their trust, their respect. But you know what? Sometimes this can be young, childlike energy as well. So maybe particularly the target was young women, impressionable women. And creating this, grooming them. That's what this is given. Oh, Lord. And then leaving them vulnerable to attack in some way, to be kind of consumed by this entity of, I don't even know what to call it. I mean, it could literally be, if not sexual prostitution, it could be spiritual prostitution. Because it's like, look, he leaving with his wand in his hand, like, setting these women up to get ravaged in some energetic way, if not an actual way. And then he's on to the next. We know that's the energy of the Knight of Wands. But clearly something darker has occurred with the Seven of Swords in reverse, or this is being exposed or has been caught and it's been caught in such a way that is undeniable. Like I said, it could be something occurred more in a more sinister way that it has to be addressed. It has to be investigated. What's the true nature of the origins of this establishment or this home or this relationship, this enterprise, whatever it is. Because maybe it presents itself to be one thing, maybe even initiating girls in a way to like initiating girls with this illusion of leading them to some type of independence or prosperity, some level up of sorts, like investing in their gifts, their talents. It could be industry shit, for real, but investing in their gifts, their talents, like, yeah, we're gonna make you a star. We literally investing in them in some way, shape, or form before or while they're being siphoned for their energy in the background, slowly, like a slow death. To the point where then they depreciate to this like codependent exchange, like almost subservient to these energies that have put themselves in the position to provide in some way, or that have made these certain promises, and then before you know it, you're all entangled in this web. It's like, yeah, I got you. We just got to do this, or we need you to do that, and like you just getting sucked deeper and deeper into this, down this rabbit hole with this promise of success and affluence, and again, with the guise of security and stability, a safe place to be, when whole time they killing you softly. giving you just enough on the front end to kind of like reel you in and keep you put until the tables turn eventually and you realize you're in too deep and maybe you don't have anywhere else to turn, or you're so invested at that point that you at least want to see some return on your invested time and energy, like, well, I've been here for this long, or I've given this much. Now, shoot, it could even be like some type of threat or blackmail, or that could be that too, that keeps you stuck, feeling helpless, like, well, I can't go anywhere now, feeling almost indebted. That's what it is, like almost indebted to whatever this association is on account of what they did give you on the front end, or perhaps what the threat of what they may be able to take away, even if it's your dignity or bruise your reputation itself. It's something really nasty here. Yeah, and the Queen of Swords, she got all the tape. Woo. And I was just going to call him the Henchman too, but this is that energy right here. Jimmy Henchman. Definitely getting his just desserts as well. He comes in like a love, not really a lover, but what it is like, it's more seductive than it is loving. Really somebody that's going to engage and maybe even ignite your passions. Could even be fueling your vices, really supporting that energy, maybe even getting you hooked on something that you weren't even thinking about before, but leading the charge on that experience of ecstasy, maybe really ecstasy with these pentacles in real life, but some engagement of ecstasy that would kind of like that would disarm the senses, and or also put you in that subservient position again, to almost feel shameful for how you've engaged or how you've been exposed or exposed yourself, or it's a wild ride is what it is, creating circumstances that would incite guilt and shame and then holding that over their head. And this entitlement here is what's really getting laid to rest, because not only is this aggressive assault and attack on character, on people's legacies and fortunes that would be, it's like really somebody being a human pitfall in another person's life for the sake of absorbing their fortune and their destiny for themselves, or just obstructing the progress that one is on the trajectory for. That's what this energy is here, and it's definitely going with the Justice card and the Wheel of Fortune. That's like double jeopardy right there, like double karma right there. Karma in the spirit, karma in truth. One way or another, somebody's going to pay. Especially if these are young people, young girls, hell, might be boys too, because sometimes, the Four of Wands can be same sex, or it can be that. So it could be double duty here. No sexual discrimination whatsoever. I just hope it wasn't no age discrimination per se. Like, well, I think I should say I hope that there was actually. surgery, but I don't know. If it wasn't a matter of targeting young women, it was definitely targeting, or young people, it was definitely targeting young, impressionable people, or vulnerable, maybe even naive energies. And the reason why I'm so solid on the female aspect is because of how we started. Yeah. This was the scheme over and over again. This was the scheme. This was like a long-term invested energy that they just continued to perfect on each occurrence. Like, tweak this, tweak that, or this time we'll do this with it, or if it was a prescriptive. No, because this kind of speaks, I mean, it could have been prescriptive depending on the energy, but it feels more so like they just were really fine-tuning the scheme or the scam with every, like almost every case study to some degree. Like, this is how this one works, and now they incorporate something different next time go around, or just learning how people move and tweaking the impact to, man, this is sick. To be as infectious as possible. Ooh, and with this Knight of Wands, yo, that's probably where the justice is coming in as well. And then the point of attack, yeah, okay. Somebody was intentionally spreading not just spiritual dis-ease, but physical dis-ease. And that was also captivating energies to, like conquering them consciously, because now they have some type of physical ailment, and maybe that was the blackmail, like, I'll tell everybody you gave it to me type of energy. Nine of Pentacles. When they know that lady ain't had nothing when she first came around. Like, this is somebody that's what they do. That was part of their role, or became their role. Maybe it wasn't always intended for it to be that, but with these growths on this Seven of Pentacles, somebody was an absolute menace to society. Is an absolute menace, because ain't no change occurred at this point, even if somebody is caught. Yeah, look, here you go, offering it up. And it's a slow burn, because it ain't like anybody's telling, this is what's being passed around or spread around. So then by the time they figure it out, like I said, they already locked in. And a shame, and the value that they came with in the Nine of Pentacles has been depreciated greatly. What's the Eight of Pentacles? The eight. Oh, so then they're like almost, yeah, that's the subservience. So then they're almost like locked into this work, this, to almost be a product of this establishment now. Like I said, it really could be some level of escorting or prostitution. Could be something like that going on. But I feel like, especially with the Wheel of Fortune here, it could be that, but it was more about gifts and energetic exchange that could have been siphoned or diminished through physical exchanges for sure, especially passing off diseases and stuff like that. But it seems like the ambition would have been some siphoning of energy, like supreme energy though, targeting a very specific caliber of a feminine to have access to like that high quality product that a feminine would possess in energy, talent, gifts, maybe even assets, somebody that's independent, but certainly maybe abilities, supernatural abilities to some degree. Yeah, and but what is given is that not much was real. That's why it's being brought down. This is the karma of it all, because it's like not much was really harvested from this in a way that was sustainable. Maybe at a time, it was flowing and business was good, business was booming, but eventually the money slowed down, if not stopped altogether, or whatever the return in exchange was slowed down and stopped altogether. And the ends did not justify the means, particularly now that the law is involved and people looking at now looking at the value of their life sentencings, whatever they may be, and it not matching up to what they devoted to this establishment. It's like somebody might not even have a good lawyer. Here's the King of Wands. Yeah, folks might not even, value of the return was so low that folks might have to have a public defender. They can't even pay their lawyers, pay decent lawyers to defend them in this case, because or assets have been frozen. That's what that could also be. Yeah, that's probably what that is. It's there, but it's not accessible. And it ain't gonna be accessible no time soon, particularly for as long as the case persists, and certainly not if folks are found guilty of whatever these offenses are, which they will be. If it's coming out here, then it's already done. Like, I'm definitely not giving no provision for that. It's just a matter of how involved. Yeah, with the King of Wands, like, how involved were you? How active were you in this plan? And the King of Wands is a shot caller too now. So it's giving me that somebody, that could be, that this could be the energy of like the deflection here, like literally trying to leave him with the bag. It was all his idea. He did it, this is all him. He did everything, when this is really him right here, the Knight of Wands. Because this control freak of the Queen of Swords probably barely even let him do but so much, or take but so much liberty of control, because that's the energy that she's given as the mastermind. He had a designation of responsibility. He had a job, maybe even one job: seduce the women and infect them all in one. Because that wand, especially as an incubus spirit, is also working to siphon energy, and that was probably going right back to her somehow, some way. That was her fixed objective, is what all she could absorb, and how she could keep her hands as clean as possible. She had it all figured out, that if this that the evidence was mounted up against him to make him look like the mastermind, the executor of this entire plan, stocking his 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 rap sheet full as the King of Wands to look like some lustful, reckless, out of control, perverted, control freak of sorts. Like out of control in his own energy, but wanting to control everything else. Like she really steeped it up on him to make him look that way, but it's not going to stick. It's like the money is even stopping short from really reaching his possession holistically, because that's where she also overplayed her hand. She still wanted to keep too much. She's really in the energy of the King of Wands, actually. That's her true identity in the lower frequency, of course. But it would be more believable to cape herself in the energy of the other victims and make it look like she was just one of them. And he was controlling everybody, including the money, including the, everybody's comings and goings and the plan and the execution and everything. But it's like he's involved, but she's not absolved. No way. Let's just get a few more on this. I'm just interested. This is wow. In reverse, somebody didn't walk away fast enough, and that's why he's all linked up into the madness, because he should have been aggressive in seeing his way out of this plan, but it seems like he was like fighting to be validated as this energy here. That's the strange thing about it, is that his ego was his downfall and wanted to be revered or recognized as an equal counterpart or equal mastermind in this execution in some way, shape, or form. Like he had control or say so too. That's why this is overturned, because this was a mess from the gate. There was no harmony and balance in that Four of Wands. So his ego is what drove him to want to be validated. The material return wasn't enough. He wanted to be able to be recognized as the king of the castle too, when he had every opportunity to walk away and, release himself of this association. Is that he stayed too long. He stayed too long. Let's see what's on the last card. Let's see. I think that it feels like the energy of her succeeding to kind of like dominate all of, well, I almost said all of these masculine energies, but definitely dominate his. Like she overpowered his masculinity at all. Yeah, look, bottom of the deck, Five of Cups. Like she won the war between whatever whatever her ambition was with him. But it's still, like I said, it's still, this is spiritual justice, karmic justice at play. It's still not going to be averted, but what she came to do in terms of him and how he's, you know, her dominance over him, like she won that. Oh, wow. She managed to keep him locked in his obsessions, keep him possessed. It's like she got his wand in her hand. That's what that is. But as I said, in the end, they're both equally chained to this entity. They both are in debt to this possession. Allowing themselves to be possessed, and so now they are. And it's going to take deliverance to break those chains. So it's like, in the end, it's like, what was it all for? You won the prize, but straight to hell. Like, that's what you won, a one-way ticket to hell. All right, well, that's that on that. All right, meanwhile, back on the ranch, people are crossing over into their destinies. Maybe this is the jailbreak of these women and children that have been held captive in this Two of Swords, Eight of Swords energy, being free, set free, liberated to a much more peaceful and calmer existence. Those that, you know, have been captivated in a way that has been against their will, well, to some degree at least. It's like this captivation here, like almost chaining these energies, binding these energies, is what sets their captives free. What's the last card? Oh, wow. Hopefully for a potential for some pure contracts and pure relationships and agreements and commitments. Definitely a stark comparison from this contract. This is like demonic contracts. This is something more pure, more balanced, two people on the same page. Even a renewed contract with self could even be the fate for those that are being liberated, to find the balance of self again in those polarities that have probably been greatly distorted on account of this trauma. So now being given the opportunity to be released from that, hopefully heal from that, and then regenerated in a way that would magnetize the self for something pure. Even if it's just friendships, you know, just acquaintances, just something, a renewed covenant is what it is with self, to have what is far more desirable and healing. To be able to even trust yourself with others again would be the ultimate point of healing here. And it may even be a bit of a long journey to that reality for those that have been, wow, that have been affected. I don't even know what to say about this. This is kind of crazy. So I guess I won't say much. I'll just leave it be. Yeah, well, somebody's definitely going to have to answer for this. This is certainly in that range of Supreme Court justice where the universe is not pleased because of the short-term and long-term effects that this has on creation, to put people in a position where they have to be healed. They need to be cleansed, you know, from things that, like, if it's what I'm saying, and people were in a trusting mode and coerced to feel like they could be safe and secure within a certain association, that's unfair. Everybody has the power of choice, of course, but when you're intentionally leading someone to the slaughter, and that was, you know, like, that's not fair. And the answer for it, for those that, you know, maybe I don't know what this really truly is, so it could be that people stayed, you know, there was a scrapple with their pride once they became entangled, like they felt chained, you know, to this situation for whatever reason. Like, again, if it was a fear of being exposed, or the pride and shame and guilt associated with whatever their co-creativity may have been, there's an answer for that gets to happen in spirit and in truth, because the damage has already been incurred on account of what's been endured staying around for so long. And then on the back end, there's going to need to be healing and deliverance from this exposure. So that part gets to kind of get balanced. That's the karma also of it all, and the justice that will get balanced out as it will. But these energies that were intentional about deceiving others and creating these diabolical, very diabolical and quite demonic conditions for people under the guise of something else, that's a different level of offense that's going to be judged and justified. That's like the difference between murder 2 and murder 1. Like, when you had the intention of going in and completely, like, obliterating someone from the inside out, as opposed to, their baby was a scrapple, or some type of something occurred and it just happened in a struggle or something like that, or in a rage or in a fit, or in like a crime of passion. But this is a crime of passion, but with a first-degree attempt of assault and battery, and perhaps even, as I said, murder altogether. This is a crime of passion indeed. And so, yeah, those that have been charged justifiably will answer in the same regard, and prayerfully those that have been disenfranchised, victimized, dare I say, and vulnerable to this system or this circumstance will hopefully find the healing and the closure that they need to move on to some more peaceful and calmer existence and experience of life, hopefully, prayerfully. So I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you for listening and watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.